Hey, do you want to know how I make covers like I did my last one? I'm going to show you. So first thing you need is a DWA, along on your laptop, of course. I'm using Logic now. I used to use GarageBand because no money, but I forked out for it, so I'm now on Logic. And this was the first song I used to learn it, basically. So I'm going to go through all the tracks and how I did everything. First thing I handled was guitar, is because I'm a guitarist, essentially, so it's just easier for me to start on it, and I do this all line in instead of MIDI like the rest of it, but here we go. So first I did the lead guitar part, which sounds like this. And then I added in the first rhythm guitar part. And then over here I added in some of the tab that went along with the rhythm guitar part that I didn't want to do at the same time, so I did it separately and I added it in. Then I added in the second rhythm guitar part, which made it sound like this. And then this part also had a bit of tab that I didn't want to do at the same time, so I added that in later. And like you can hear it down here as well, or here. Just a few rings here and there. And then last but not least, within the guitar parts, I added in like just the normal strum of a chord, basically. Made it sound like this. Sounded a lot more fuller. So the second thing I did was the drums, which sound like this. In the chorus of the actual song, the drum sound is more muted, and it is at the end as well, so I did a secondary part where I could do that as well, and it was a different beat as well, so this is what that sounds like. It's just slower and more muted. I think I just put a low cut on and it made it sound like that more. To actually do the drum part, because I don't have a set of drums in my house, and my drum playing is less than great, to be honest. So I just use the session player within Logic, and it's on the Electric Drummer synth pop thing with like a medium kind of complexity, like a low intensity. I just did this, whatever sounded like the original almost, and then just messed around with a few of the settings, and I got this, and it sounds good. It works. So with the guitar part with the drums, it sounds like this in the verse. The chorus sounds like this. The third thing I added was a bass line, and I did this through MIDI because I don't have a bass guitar at home, otherwise I would do it myself. But it was through MIDI, and it sounds like this. So to work through MIDI, you can either use the piano roll or you can use the score. I use the score because, I don't know, I find it easier than placing it out on the piano, even though I actually forgot score completely because I'm a guitarist and I don't deal with this that much. So I had to relearn this a bit more, but it works. Plays well, on time, perfect, can't ask for anything better. And to play that along with the main go, it sounds like this. Bass just adds so much more texture to the song. It's great. The fourth thing I added was strings. For this, again, I don't have a whole strings ensemble in my bedroom, and I also cannot play strings at all. So this is all via MIDI again, and it sounds like this. So this part where it is like the only part in the song where it has strings, so it sounds like this. Stuff like that is actually kind of commonplace around the songs. You can kind of see by other little things that are just like tiny little parts that have a certain thing, and I just added them in to, bring it all to life. To fifth part is the electric piano, which has actually only 2 parts where it actually does anything, and it's very minor. It just has a little trill to it, basically. And there's this one over here. Like the bass and the strings, it was done via score on MIDI, so I don't have to play that. It was easy. I just did it. Put it in, it plays. Perfect. You mix it into the song and it sounds like this. It's just kind of like a cute little do-do-do to bring in some life more. Again, like the strings. The sixth part is the synth lead. Again, this is kind of like just little things here and there until the end and when there's like a big part. Other than that, it's kind of just like this. At the end, that's where its part really is, which is over here. And that's that noise that goes at the end. Add that in with what is here currently. It sounds like this. The seventh part is the synth pads, and there is 2 layers to this one again, and you can hear it like this. So this is where all like the atmosphere comes from in the song. It also adds like a few noises like this one, for example. That's that run. This second part down here, it kind of meets up other parts like this. Just makes it full. Then at the end, it's very like chords based to meet that up as well. Add that in, and the end now sounds like this. And then finally we move on to the vocals. As you can see, there's a lot of layering done here. Even it goes down and down and down. But we'll start with the top line, which is the live vocal for the cover, because I did this live on YouTube basically. Well, kind of. Obviously it did producing afterwards, but now it sounds like this. Fresh out the slammer. Down here in these two, this is like where you double and you pan left and right, as you can kind of see over here, which is that, to make it sound thicker at the top. Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you. That kind of really brings in, especially when you're listening in headphones, it makes it just sound so much thicker and nicer. The same was done over here in the verse line, which is here. And then we have the wonderful octave higher, which is very hard for me to hit, so enjoy this. Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you. That needed heavy melodyne afterwards. Next, I was adding in harmonies like this one. As I said in my letters, now that I know better, I will never lose my... And even more down here. Still wait up and I push like gleams to the one who says... And then down here at the very bottom is that there's like a ha, ha, ha sound within the ending. So that kind of sounds like here. The one who says I'm the girl of his American dreams. And then all together, you get what this is. All those nights you kept me going, swirled you into all of my poems. Over here is where you can hear like the ha-ha-has in the background. The most of me learning plugins definitely came into vocals more. There was like, so I did Melodyne, I've been learning that. There's Gate, Channel EQ, DS's, comp, exciters. And down here there's like Space, Designer, and Channel EQ more, and like delay as well. I added a lot in here, and also chorus as well, somewhere as well. Oh, it's not enabled, okay. Well, obviously I didn't use it in the end, but yeah, that is generally the basis of it, and you can kind of see where all of my plugins were, but I didn't really touch much. I mostly touched on the vocals because that's what needed the most care. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and if you ever want to know more about my music, I can make another.